President. When we came in January, we just declared ourselves a new board, and that allowed us to take a look at some things that we've done that we might like to change. And I commend the board attorney for accumulating all of our contracts, some over 400 contracts that he's been able to accumulate and start taking a look at. Some of these have not been beneficial for the county, and I think that we've all taken a look at some of them and realized that we need to address them and address them timely. One of those is the Airwaves contract on the maintenance of our towers. I think that this board has been particularly attentive to looking at the benefits to the county and where we can save or where we've not been getting the services that we've thought we were getting. And we're paying roughly $70,000 a month for this. And I've had some conversations with our new EOC director, Ricky Moore. I've asked him to come and just briefly address the subject, the topic of what we're getting or what we're lacking, some of the things that concerns him regarding this contract.
Mr. President, members of the board, I had some conversation with Supervisor Greer last week. The things that I've noticed in the 6 weeks I've been there is there's an alerting system called MOSCAD that I was told when I came aboard that had been out of place since December of 13. I met with the Mr. Stowers and Mr. Hargrove about a month ago. They told me that that system could not be no longer supported by Motorola, and the computer and the server was also non-repairable. Went on a couple more weeks. I asked them for the computer. We took it to they did deliver the computer to our office. Joey took it to the county's IT system, or repair guy. The next morning we had it running at no cost to the county. And within about a day we had that computer back running, and now our MOSCAD system is working again. I haven't talked to Airwave since then. That's one of the problems. And I got a contract on the agenda today to service the air conditioning units at the tower sites. We've spent about $10,000 to repair the air conditioners at the 6 existing sites. I believe 4 of them have been extensively repaired since January the 20th. The other thing is the hail damage. I know that claim is being held up. They're waiting on the report from Airways to finish its hail damage report from last year. We have not received any documentation on that. My opinion, if we got that much damage on our radio system, we need to get it fixed. If it's out there, we need to get it fixed. That could be detrimental to our end users. So those are the 3 things that I've been faced with in the 6 weeks that I've been back that I discussed with you about.
Supervisor Greer.
One of my big concerns was the insurance damage, or the alleged insurance damage over there. They quantified $260,000 or more in damages out there, but they have not provided a detailed breakdown of what those damages are. Is that correct?
And checking some of the emails with Joey, did some correspondence with Dan Gibson. No written estimate has been given, just a dollar figure.
Okay, so we're left on our own to try to figure out what those damages are and how to repair what's necessary.
Excuse me. Friday, we had a tower company, West Tower, look at the FOA tower for hail damage because the lights on those towers are now EOC's responsibility. So we got one light on the top of that tower that was damaged by hail. It would probably be $1,000 or so to repair that lens and that light. He did take a bunch of pictures on the way up. There's minimal damage to that tower. We got a few dings in the microwave system, but in their report, and I got a copy of their report here for y'all to review. I got it this morning on my email, that they see no damage out there that would be detrimental to our radio system. That's on just the FOA tower.
Supervisor Stokes. Thank you. Do you have any of this in writing for pass out to the board members?
Yes, sir. I made copies of some of it this morning.
My next concern, I'm just trying to wrap my mind around this. 1 week they fired, the next week you look for them to do some work. 1 week we're not paying them, next week you look for them to do some work. Somewhere down the line, something's just not right. Are they fired or not? I thought about a month ago you fired them. Can somebody explain this to me? Are they fired or not? And if they fired, how you gonna look for them to do some work?
Good morning, Anthony Simon, Special Counsel to the Board. Supervisor Stokes, to answer your question, there are multiple contracts that Airwaves has with the county. They were fired, the contract in which they were terminated was a site maintenance contract, and you're correct, that was terminated. They do have other contracts that they still have responsibility to provide services to the county.
Are they getting paid?
Yes, the last meeting, all their invoices have been paid today.
So, we don't owe them any money,
Don't owe them a cent.
and we're saying they're not doing the work.
On one of the contracts, there are questions about deficiencies in their performance on that contract, that's correct.
How many contracts do they have?
My knowledge would be there's one active contract left right now.
And this is the one we're discussing?
Yes, this is what we're discussing. Yes,
So how much do we owe them on this contract?
we don't owe them a cent right now. They've been paid through their latest invoice.
Why don't we bring them here and let's talk to them and ask them without saying things, without giving them an opportunity to respond?
Well, I don't disagree with you that they're free to come here and defend themselves. I agree with that.
Well, did anybody from EOC call them and tell them they're gonna discuss them and have them here, invite them?
I'll let Mr. Moore address that, but I know he has been in communication with them regarding performance on that contract.
Mr. Moore, did you invite them to be here today?
No, sir, I didn't invite them to the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. President,
Supervisor Calhoun.
I was going to say that I have seen memos, about 2 or 3 memos that were forwarded to the company requesting a response for lack of services. However, I have not seen any communications from Airwave that indicated that they would respond to the requests that were made by the EOC director.
You referring to the email I sent them a couple weeks ago?
Yes.
I did send an email requesting what radios they had at their facility for repair. We needed the passwords for all the computers that had anything to do with the system. I didn't get any response for about 2 days, so I did send them a second notice. Within about 2 hours, I got a response from Stacy, and got an email back, and he did send me all the information I wanted. One of them was the batteries at FOA Road that we were paying, according to the attorney, and he may help me here. I believe we're paying, when we had 2 contracts, we were paying for batteries at our UPSs on one contract, and we had it under another contract too, or the county did. So I asked him to replace the batteries in that UPS at FOA Road under existing contract, and they did.
On the deficiencies that you listed, problems with computers, problems with the extensive repair that the county has had to correct, also problems with the hail damage report. Did you make requests to the company via telephone conversation or written correspondence?
Most of that correspondence has been between Joey, Dan Gibson, trying to get that settled out. I have not asked them for any hail damage report. In the meeting that I had with them about a month ago in my office, I asked them about the hail damage Mr. Hargrove stated that that was one of the reasons Clinton could not talk real well on the radio system now was the hail damage on that FOA tower.
Was that the case?
Now,
Was that the problem?
yeah, that's what I was told that was the problem. Now, there's some other problems out there that goes back to the combiners, and this goes back to the rebanding. Is that right, Joey? That's been an ongoing issue since like 2012, August of 2012. It hadn't been resolved. That I'm not real familiar with that rebanding issue.
Supervisor Grant.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Director Moore, could it be or that the MOSCAT system, which is an alerting system, could have been misdiagnosed?
Well, I guess we would have to ask Stephen on that because he repaired the computer. I don't know what, Larry and Nathan supposedly was the one trying to get the computer working. I don't know what they were looking at. We were told the hard drive was bad or the server was bad. Once we got our hands on the computer, we did take it to IT, and we could ask Stephen how, it was a programming issue or some issue in the computer that it lost some of the programming or something.
No other question, we have a motion on the floor. Supervisor Greer.
Yeah, I just have one other comment. Of course, we've also been looking at our E911 account, and with this contract in there, in August, we were expecting to go red in this account, so we'll be upside down there with, if we're able to eliminate this contract, then that would leave us at the end of this budget year over $400,000 to take care of whatever servicing needs that we have regarding this this system. So clearly Hinds County is not getting or has not been getting the service that it's been paying for, and I would like to make a motion that we ask our legal department to take a look at this contract and see if there's a way to terminate it or end it, and to give us a report or come back to us at our next meeting in April for this. So I move in that regard.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any questions?
Yes.
Yes, Supervisor Stokes.
To make sure this is clear, we're asking the legal department to look at the contract and see could the contract be broken.
Terminate.
As I understand, to see what options are out there for terminating the contract.
Now, I think the other contracts that they terminated, I brought up the issue then. How do you enter into a contract? That's what contracts are for. And then you can say, well, we're gonna walk out of it. And they walked out the door. So now we're gonna say, we're just not gonna walk out, we're gonna try to get legal to find a way to break the contract.
Without discussing any specific legal strategy, the previous contract that was terminated has resulted in no repercussions to the county. In fact, the vendor has indicated that it was pleased with the county, how the county resolved and terminated that contract. As I understand, the motion is pending today. There's a similar request in the form of that motion to look at the remaining contract and see if the same thing could be achieved. Until we look at the contract and meet with the attorneys for Airwaves, we can't have a specific recommendation, but we can bring you that one. As to your
So the plan gonna be to meet with their attorney.
That's what we did last time, Supervisor Stokes, and we achieved a resolution in which both benefited the county and to which the vendor accepted without any threat of litigation. And I would certainly, you know me well enough to say I'm going to try that same approach with respect to the remaining contract.
Thank you, sir.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor, sign aye.
Aye.
Those opposed,
No.
motion passes. One other quick item we want to move up for Mrs. Calhoun, Mrs. Davis.